My name is Levi Lascsak, and I've sold over 460 homes in the last 3.5 years, all free from YouTube without spending a penny on ads. Didn't cold call, door knock, or bug a single friend or family member. And I'm sharing with you today my R4 framework for content creation. And let's get into R number one, which is going to be research. So if I take the R4 framework and we start with research, okay, number one. All right. Number one I like to use is a tool called TubeBuddy. All right. So TubeBuddy would be number one on my list, and I'll put a link in the description below if you want to be able to use that. But you can see here on my screen, if I'm on the back end of my channel, what I love about TubeBuddy is it has a little plugin right here in the back of the channel, and I can click on Keyword Explorer right here. And this allows me to do quite a bit of research. If I want to research my suburbs, then I can look at Frisco, Texas, Plano, Texas, McKinney, Texas, and I can get usually specific search volume in here. So let's say Frisco has 640,000 searches per month. And if I compare that to McKinney, Texas, if I simply put that in there, then it's going to tell me, okay, it gets 558,000, which is pretty good on both ends. But that shows me that Frisco is more searched than McKinney. So if I'm going to record content, I should probably do it on the most searched suburb first. And so that's what I like to do, is take all of my suburbs, usually the top 10 or 15 that you're planning to work in, and do a quick search to see what the search volume is. And that should help prioritize the suburbs that you want to make content on. Number two under research is going to be the YouTube search bar. Okay. So if we look at that, that's pretty simple. You can go onto YouTube and simply type in whatever you want. So living in Dallas, Texas, I could type that in. You can see just by putting in living living on a prayer. Okay, so usually I won't go to many searches. This is going to be skewed by your channel first and foremost. So if you want to really see what it's going to be, I would look at an incognito window and go to YouTube, and then you can type in living in Dallas, Texas, or whatever it is you're searching, but it's going to start populating, right? So same thing as if I want to do Plano, Texas, pros and cons. You can see here it gives me a couple of options: Plano, Texas, pros and cons, living in Plano, Texas, pros and cons. So that is a good idea of these propagated search results here that give me an idea of what is also being highly searched in the area. So you can see living in Dallas, Texas, Frisco, vlog. Okay, that's a good one. McKinney. So again, this is kind of telling me housing in Dallas, Texas, living in North Dallas, Texas. And if I do this on incognito window, it's not utilizing my search volume. And hopefully, and as we see there, our channel pops up along with some of our recent videos, which is good. So we still pretty much own this keyword in the Dallas, Texas area. And you can use this search bar really to kind of take a look at what's going on. But again, if you search on your regular channel, it's going to be skewed by your watch history and everything else that you've been using. But I like to use the YouTube search bar. All right, number three is going to be Google, right? Of course. So Google. So if we take a look at Google, and I pull up a tab here, and I want to say Frisco, Texas, well, it's going to give me a lot of information, right? And so, of course, I can use the maps here for my map videos, but this would also take me to my next areas of research. So say number four is going to be websites, from what I Google. So if I want to look at friscotexas.gov, which this is the official website of the city of Frisco, that's pretty good, right? If I go on here and I open this up in a new tab, maybe I pull that one up, I'm going to look through else here. This is also something good, I would say. Number five is people also ask, all right? And that is something right here that you can see here. It's Frisco, Texas, wealthy area, good place to live, expensive, median household income. Okay, so something like that. These could be also good content ideas And if I click on something, it's going to continually pop up different options in there. So if I scroll down and let's see here, I go to top stories, HEB now open in the area, Frisco Independent School District. These are all good websites that I could pull information on. Visit Frisco. This is something else that I would use is, visit and yourcityname.com. I don't know if this is the case, but in Texas, a lot of Visit Frisco, Visit Plano, Visit McKinney are good websites as well to use for research. So let's just say I open that up. And I'm going to go on here, and if I look around, then there's going to be some information. Visit Frisco, get involved, government. I can find a lot of information on here if I want to do research for creating content.
Hey, you should check out my new community for free. It's where I host all of my more in-depth trainings, and you're going to get access to step-by-step courses showing you how to get buyer and seller leads for your business using passive prospecting, a supportive community of over 1,300 members, and weekly group coaching sessions you can attend and ask questions. Now, this community is all about passive prospecting and getting a quality buyer and seller leads through YouTube without spending a penny on ads or cold calling. Now, the link is in the description below, so make sure you join for free today and say hi to me when you get in the community. I look forward to seeing you there.
Going back onto visitfrisco.com, again, I can get information here. This could help me start out a video, things to do. I could talk about it. I Heart Frisco blog, so this could be interesting. This could also be video topic ideas right here. Again, if I just get stuck and I'm not really sure what to do, you can see this. 5 ways to beat the heat at the Star could be interesting. Not art in the arena. I'm not sure. Think like an Olympian. Okay, get crafty in Frisco on beer day. Must visit coffee spots. Now, not typically things we would put on our channel. These could be definitely interesting ideas for shorts, or I would say more for reels. Of course, we don't do a lot of shorts on the channel. A weekend in Frisco, good. Now, these may provide you examples or opportunities or things that you could add into your videos. So that could make it very interesting there as well. And I think a little hidden gem is going to be, number 7 is going to be storage for moving websites. Now, these are also good spots. Like if I go to, I think it's, let's see, extra space storage. Yeah, for example, extra space storage. If I click on here and I want to, this is something I've found on here. Let's see, let's go into Dallas. And then I click over here onto their blog website, and you can see here for Dallas. Now, here could be some very good video topics right here. 19 things to know about living in Dallas, best places to buy a home in Dallas, safe, affordable neighborhoods in Dallas. Okay, so, and I'm sure if you searched your city in here, let's just say Atlanta, if I can spell Atlanta. There we go. They're going to have probably similar content on here. So that's a pretty good place to find information as well, is on the storage or movings. They're very good about writing blogs because they understand SEO, and this helps them get ranked, especially when people are looking to move to the city. Okay, now the second R of the R4 framework is going to be right. Wait a second, it doesn't start. I know, I get it, but it really works for the R4 framework. But stick with me. I promise the next 2 are going to be real R's, but right does kind of sound like an R. So let's just go with it for right now. Right. Okay. So when we're looking at creating that content, now that we've gathered all of our research together, now we're going to write out our content. And depending on how you prefer to do that is really up to you. I prefer, number 1, I prefer bullet points. Okay. I'm going to find through all my research and everything, I'm going to make bullet points about the things that I want to discuss. For example, let's go back in here into this blog, and let's say I want to go back to Dallas. Actually, I should just be able to go back, and 19 things to know about living in Dallas. Now, I actually made a video about this last year for the channel. And what I did was I read through here, and I pretty much agreed with every topic on here except for one. So I decided to do the 18 things you need to know about Dallas, Texas. Now, for me, the DART system, everything they talk about, earn your degree. So colleges, sports country. Yes, Dallas is home to the Big Star or the Big State Fair. So those things I know about. So those are really become my bullet points to making my video. I can easily talk for a few minutes on each of those. And again, remember, I've got 18 topics. So even if I talk for 2 minutes on each of those topics, that's going to be a 36-minute video. So I do want to be mindful of what I'm saying, but I can give a very high level overview on each one of those topics. And I can easily create a video just from that vlog. I'm not copying or ripping anything off. I'm just using the bullet points, or actually the headlines or the headers, you could say, for each of those points. And then I'm giving my own viewpoints and opinions on that. So I'm more of a bullet point person. Number two, you could, write out a whole script. Okay, now,
Hey, real quick, if you're thinking about changing brokerages or you're brand new and you're thinking about choosing a brokerage, well, Travis and I would love to talk to you about partnering with us at eXp. You'll get access to all of our coaching, training, and courses at no cost, but mainly we want to see if we're a good fit for each other. So just check the description below and you can book a call with myself and Travis, and we look forward to speaking with you.
now, if you want to do that, clearly you are a writer, and I don't do that for videos. I like bullet points and going a little bit more off the cuff, kind of like I'm doing with you right now. And so for me, writing out a script would really take too much time, energy, or effort that I'm willing to put into that whole video. Now, could you pop that into AI, or pop the bullet points into AI and that gives you back a script? Sure, that could absolutely do that. Now, what you want to do from there, if you want to read through that and that helps you, get more of your flow of your content, that's great. Because number three, you could also do teleprompter, right? So we could go teleprompter, and if we have a script, we could load that into a teleprompter, and then you're sitting there reading that. Now, teleprompting is just like a skill, like anything else. At first, you're probably not going to be great at it. The people are going to really notice your eyes going back and forth as you read the screen. You're going to have to adjust the speeds. It takes getting used to it. For me, it's the exact same thing as getting used to just freestyling or working off of bullet points or something like that. So for me, I don't know. I'm just more of a freestyler. That's what I like. I know my topics mostly. If I don't, I'll just do a little bit more reading ahead of time, maybe write out a few more bullet points. But overall, just like right now, I've got notes on the side right here that I've written down, all of my bullet points for this video right here. And really, I'm just kind of transferring onto this whiteboard right now for you for the sake of this video. But I could make this whole video on top of that and use my notes. And then, of course, we would have to add in the editing. We would add in all the notes that go right beside here. So if I wanted to add a point and a point and a point and a point, then we could do that. But I decided, let me just work through this with you on the iPad as I, share this information off the top of my head. Because I've done this so many times that I know exactly what I'm looking for. But now once you've understood the format that you want to create your content in, you've got to go back to the beginning of this aspect. And so even though I may have bullet points, really one of the key things, and let's just split this in half and say the key thing is going to be your first, 1 to 3 seconds to 30 seconds. Especially on YouTube. They say on short form content, Reels, Instagram, TikTok, you only have 1 to 3 seconds. YouTube, I would say you have 1 to 3 seconds, but also the 30 seconds after that. So clearly YouTube measures drop off after 30 seconds, and that's whenever YouTube actually counts a view if somebody stays on your video for 30 seconds. So that first 30 seconds, getting somebody hooked in there and wanting to watch the video you're about to make is very important. So even if you're using bullet points or going off the cuff, and more importantly, if you're writing this out, you do want to spend some time on that first portion of your video to make sure that you get people hooked into what you're sharing and what information you want to convey on that video. And I would also work on staying away from filler words or words that are too obvious, or saying in this video, or that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today, or people always ask me, or this comes up all the time. Those types of, phrases or words aren't necessary. So you want to try to be as clear and concise as possible. So as you transition into the main body of your video, you can just kind of have a continuous flow. Now, along with that, that's really, this can be summed up with your hook. What is your hook? that's going to fall within that timeline. And, it needs to also grab attention, right? It needs to be something that people are interested in, but also it should have some similarity to your thumbnail. Your thumbnail should kind of transition into your hook, that intro, that beginning portion of it. Of course, your title is going to back that up. But overall, even though people are on YouTube to watch long form content, we still need to get their attention. On top of that, there is autoplay now. So you notice if you scroll over a video, or if you're on mobile and you start to scroll and stop, there is an autoplay aspect. So also what you do with wording and lettering at the beginning of that video is very important, because a lot of times these videos are on silent as they're scrolling through there. So we need something very visual on top of what we would have auditory, because you may not even have the auditory component if someone's phone is on mute, or the video is on mute, or if you're even on your desktop, as you scroll over those videos, the audio is likely not going to be playing. So you want wording and something else that comes up that'll grab that attention quickly. Now, here's a little bonus tip on whenever you are writing out your content or prepping, is that you need to speak to one avatar, one audience member, and you need to know specifically who that is. And you need to understand your audience as a whole. So who are we talking to? Like on this channel, I'm talking specifically to real estate agents that are interested in building out their very own passive prospecting YouTube channel. Right. And so that's who I'm always going to be speaking to. And by the way, if you check the description, you'll find a link to access our school community on a free trial. If you want to go in there and test out and see all of the coursework programs and everything that we have, you can actually get in there for free for a few days and check it out, see what you like. If you want to continue, you'll go from there. If not, no problem. But we do a lot more in-depth trainings inside of there. So whenever you're speaking to that one audience, you want to keep that in mind, that that is who you're trying to serve and provide the most valuable content to that person. And that should lead to conversions, but don't skew that. So if you are someone like us in EXP and you focus on agent attraction, you do not want one channel for clients, real estate clients, and real estate agents. It's not going to work. Okay. You don't want people skipping videos on your channel. All right. So now we're at the third R, which is record. And I told you we'd get back to the real R's. Oh, and by the way, my iPad just went out on me for some reason. So now we are going to finish this video with actual animations in here. So now it's a good thing that I have my trusty notes written down and they're not saved on my iPad, or else I'd have to probably do something different, but I can continue on. And when you are recording, number one is always smile. So I can't tell you how many times I'm working on a video, I have the recording going, and I'm sitting there and I just look really serious. Then all of a sudden I sit up and I smile. So also this could help get you in the mood to actually record. I know sometimes there's a reluctance to record video, and that's okay. Tony Robbins always talks about changing your state. One way you can change your state: standing up, moving around, smiling. Smiling is a big deal. So there's so many times that the editors are watching my videos and I'm sitting here just doing my work, and then I look up and I'm like, smile. And I sit up straight. That's something else. If you're going to be sitting down, sit up straight, work on doing your best not to slump down. If you're going to be standing up, don't sway back and forth. And also, before you start, take a deep breath. A lot of times people will lose their breath when they're making content, especially if they're walking around outside. So this is something to kind of prime the system up, get it going. Take a deep breath and you'll be, good. And you'll be good to go. You can just settle down a little bit. That clears the pathways, and you got this. All right, so on this record section so far, that smile, sit up straight. If you're standing, don't sway, and take a deep breath. And so the fifth one is now going to be a test clip. Now, a test clip is something that you simply hit record and you can say test, test, 1, 2, 3. You can do your quick introduction and then stop record. And then you're going to play that back. You just make sure your audio's in place, your video's in place, because I cannot tell you how many times I've recorded a clip and the audio was not synced or wasn't, on, or whatever the case may be. Microphone, it was attached to the wrong thing. And when you're inside, if you're using something like I'm just using Zoom to screen share with you, very simple. I'm also using OBS onto the side. So I use two different softwares at the same time to record on. then I need to make sure the audio is connected to the right spot, because if it's connected, sometimes it'll say connected to headphones or something, and I'm not wearing headphones, so that doesn't work. I always make sure it's connected to my Yeti microphone, do a quick test clip, and then for 30 seconds, 20 seconds, doesn't really matter. I just want to make sure everything lines up, and then I can see myself as well. But also, it's a good way if you want to practice an intro real quick, just to get the cobwebs off and get going. That's a great way to do that as well. But most importantly, it's to save you from going back and recording 20, 30 minutes worth of content that you didn't get any audio from. And I can't tell you that it hurts my heart whenever that happens. So do a test clip. Now, on top of that, if you mess this up, just start over, okay, from the top. Now, if you get 1 to 2 minutes into your next clip and you're hitting a little stride, and then all of a sudden you mess up one little word, just go back to the sentence that you started, or just reset on that word. You can edit these things, or your editor can edit these things, very simple. But what a lot of people do is they'll get 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes into a video, mess up, and then they feel like they've got to start all the way back over again. And that's where frustration and where people want to quit comes into play, because that is just a lot of repetition that is unnecessary. Plus, it's very frustrating, especially if you've got 5 minutes into a clip and then you mess up at the end. I've known many people that thought that they had to start all over. They had to do every single clip perfectly, and that's not the case. I've already messed up probably 30 times in this video. And, I'm sitting down here, I'm looking at notes, I'm trying to, keep it organized for you as well, so we can go through this format. But it's okay. If you mess it up, just try to start right back over again. And then maybe I'll include a quick clip of where I just messed up earlier in this video. All right, number 7 of record is going to be just have fun as well. I mean, that's the thing, is that we are by ourselves a lot of the times when we're recording these videos, just like I'm by myself right now. So it's up to me to be in the best mood possible, to smile. That helps tremendously, to just be able to sit up, smile, and then start my clip. But otherwise, I know what this video is going to produce for me after the fact. It's going to help me build my brand. It's going to bring new clients. It's going to help other people achieve the goals that they're going after as well. Plus, it keeps me sharp on creating content in general, which is what I talk about a lot. So if I don't practice what I preach, how could I be the one that's teaching it, right? It's kind of like someone who teaches real estate, especially on YouTube, but they've never even done it themselves. Kind of weird, huh? Anyways, that's not for me to judge. So, the thing is that just have fun with this and just relax. It's just a video. All right, the 4th R of the R4 framework is going to be repeat. That's right. Do this all over again. So first of all, what I wrote down here was that, repetition leads to mastery, and it does. Just doing the same thing over and over and over again will get you to the goal. Yes, maybe boring, may not be the most fun, even though I said just have fun with it. But at the same time, it just comes with repetition. Bruce Lee said he doesn't fear the man that has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but the man that has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And so I've heard Russell Brunson speak about this, especially in his wrestling practice, right? I mean, he would do the same shoots, the same grapples, the same entry points on the mat whenever he's trying to wrestle. But then all of a sudden, also when you speak, Dan Kennedy talks about this when speaking on stage. He did the same presentation, he said, for almost 40 years, and he didn't really change much ever. He just did the same thing over and over and over and over again because it worked. Now, if something doesn't work right away, maybe you do some adjustments in the beginning, but once you find what works, you can just repeat that process. And when you start your process to getting in sync and in flow with creating video, just keep doing that over and over and over again. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes. You create muscle memory, just like going to the gym. That's why they call it muscle memory. When you start doing bench press over and over and over again, and I've been doing the same compound movements since high school, actually since junior high, whenever I started playing football in junior high. Bench press, squat, power clean, step ups, deadlift. I mean, very simple movements that I still do 25 years later. And I'm used to it, and I add weight. I change the reps or the intensity or the decrease the weight, whatever that is, to change that up a little bit. But overall, same thing over and over and over again. But I'm pretty good to it. I'm used to it, right? Getting under a bench feels natural to me because I've done it 1,000 times, probably more than that. But ultimately, it's something that we coach to in our programs as well, is that quantity leads to quality. Yes, quality is very important, but in the beginning, you're not likely going to have great quality. You're going to need to get through the repetitions. And that's why we laid out a very simple process to follow, especially when it comes to creating content in our programs, so people can follow that path and then they repeat it over and over and over again. And then from there, we encourage them, hey, if you want to get creative and do something crazy and do something out of the ordinary or try something different, go for it. Because guess what? You're going to have a lot more confidence and you're going to have a lot more repetition. You're going to be a lot more comfortable, and it's going to be easier to branch off into some of those other things. But what I've seen work time and time again is something that we have coached to as far as simple, that people can duplicate and then they can repeat over and over again. And then that helps get them a lot better at creating that content. And then the quality will come from that. And then it's easier to scale back on quantity as well as you increase quality. And by the way, if you'd like to get the PDF of the framework of this format that I just covered with you, comment below framework, and I'll be happy to send that over to you. And you should also check out this video next on the school community, how we utilize that in our business and how you can implement it in your business as well.